Hey everyone, this episode is really exciting for us because we're experimenting a little differently, where I am showing you step by step processes on how to promote your business if you are a wellness practitioner. Now, in this screen, this episode is for I'm like identifying who should be listening to this. It's for all business owners, really, but if you're also in a medical professional, a physical therapist, a chiropractor, a massage therapist, a nutritionist, an acupuncturist, a bodywork practitioner, or a mental health professional, this particular episode is geared for you. So, let's go ahead and get started. So, what I wanted to do is address a couple of things. Like a lot of busy wellness practitioners don't know where to start. And I get it. There's a lot going on. There is so much going on. I think also too, once you've finished and you're active in your practice, there's so many details that you have to do from day to day and beginning of week to end of week that social media gets, thrown to the wayside. And understandably, one of the things that Instagram is having us or trying to beat down on small businesses is saying, oh, well, if you got less than 1,000 followers, you should post about 14 times a week. So that is crazy. And we definitely want to make sure that it is attainable. It is something that you can do and that you're proud of it as well. So we're going to go over how to actually launch something, how to communicate that with your staff. So if you have somebody from your receptionist or within your team, whether it's a personal assistant or even a virtual assistant, you'll be able to help along a couple of these bits and pieces that will actually help you with consistency in terms of posting on social media. And something also that you're proud of, because a lot of the time, social media, Instagram in particular, is a way that we check out businesses. How are they presenting on social media? Are they an upmarket type product? Are they high end? Or are there something that I'm not really interested in? I want to be well cared for if I'm going to put money into this. And how does the premises look? They look. How is the website? Not the website. Excuse me. How does the Instagram profile look? How educated are they? Do they fit with me? And all of the if you could imagine all of the Q&A questions that happen with a potential patient or client, if you put it in a mechanism where they're just swiping through and then they go, oh, okay, this person is for me, that's where we want to get them sooner than later. So with that said, we're going to go ahead and use physical therapy as the fake case study for today, so to speak. So we're going to go through that. So right now, probably forever, I live in New Zealand. I am in Auckland, New Zealand. I'm originally from Los Angeles. I have done social media since 2009, and I'm very happy to be a part of the small businesses actually here in New Zealand. I was going to say Otorea, but I can't say it right yet, so I'm not going to say it. Okay. I am still in process of announcing things in a respectful manner here. So I will try again a little later. Anyway, let's go ahead and scroll down on one of the things that a lot of physical therapists, especially in New Zealand, they refer to themselves as physio. Oh, I went to physio. They refer to themselves as physio. And this is something that I want to address. So whether it's an industry type phrase of what it is, a description of what you do, may not necessarily transcend on social media. So here I went on Instagram and typed in physio, and as you can see, and there's nothing there. I think Physio Ball is there. And then a couple of companies that have physio. So in our perspective, that is a dead word. It doesn't rank really well. Yes, it can give you a bit of personality, and that's something that maybe you can put in your post. But in terms of your description, you probably want to use it because it's very seldomly used. And although our population here in New Zealand is quite small, I still wouldn't I wouldn't really hope that people would put in physio. So this is a top ranking piece there. And what I think the other thing is too, what we should be looking at is all hashtags are not created equal. So each platform will rank a certain keyword or hashtag in a different way. So here on Instagram, if we put in physical therapy, we see just the word physical therapy, and it'll also capture some of the most commonly asked hashtags when you put it in the search key. So when you look at it, I think it's number 4 down, hashtag physical therapy, over 3 million posts, almost 4 million posts are in that sector. Then you may want to strategize with something that's not so, if it has that kind of number, it's almost too loud for you to actually apply. So if you see something within under 100,000 in terms of followers or people that are interested in those type of posts, that actually might give you a bit more leverage than putting it in a very noisy place like hashtag physical therapy. So when you're developing your voice and what you're doing, that is what this episode is all about. So keep that in mind. Let's go ahead and scroll down a little bit more. Physical therapy. So we saw what's going on Instagram. And then on LinkedIn, you will notice, and we're also putting this on video. So if you want to go in the description key and listen to this and see this at the same time, you can by scrolling below. But the findings are a bit different between Instagram and LinkedIn. So Instagram has the first one at 3.9 million is physical therapy, as we talked about before. The second is physical therapy student, 77.7 post. That's really cool. Now, the next two that we have are very much within the industry. So it's not really a B2C, business to customer discovery type of post with this hashtag, but it's more to the internal industry. Uh, uh, I don't know if there's any acronym for it, but it's an industry sort of terms that are ranking really high. So physical therapy assistant and physical therapy life. A lot of people put that whole life piece at the end to showcase their life in a particular field, or, mommy life, or a particular, um, uh, life lifestyle. So you want to keep in mind who's going to actually use that hashtag to find you. Now, if we go into LinkedIn side of the screen, we're going to see physical therapy ranking first and physical therapy life as the second one. So this is a conversation between B2C, business to customer, and sort of B2B, business within another business, or business to business kind of conversation. So identifying the hashtags that are relevant for your business is something that you would do. Now, if we look at hashtag physical therapy on TikTok versus some of the keyword research that we have, it's really interesting. Yes, hashtag physical therapy is the number one searched, or I'm sorry, number one hashtag that is being used on TikTok. The interesting one, the second one's really interesting. It's hashtag physical therapy TikTok, which is really cool. And then we go into the research element, which is, and I actually did a little screenshot of what. So when you're looking at answerthepublic.com, and it's a great place to go ahead and source out those keywords that people are just typing away on Google, and they're trying to find you or find the service. It's a really cool way to go, okay, this is what people are using to search for my service. So I am actually going to interweave this stuff here that I think are going to be the top pieces or the top key phrases. And according to this report, so I use what, because I think a lot of people will say, what is physical therapy? I thought this was a really good place to start. What physical therapy, what do they do? So it's kind of cool. So the word what actually is within the sentence. So physical therapy, what to expect, And another sentence is physical therapy, what to wear. So those are the top ones that are being used right now. So that is something that these are all titles of posts or even the theme of a post that you can do in social media, and it'll actually carry you through that keyword functionality. So what to wear, was it, there was one here, is it physical therapy, what to wear? Okay, so let's do that real quick. Let's Google it. Physical therapy, oops, and then what to wear. Okay, so how are you coming up on this screen if you're a physical therapist? I'm just gonna delete these so that it doesn't distract you. But what it will do is it'll actually show you some of the top key phrases here on Google. And it's people also ask section. And it says something like, do you undress for physical therapy? What type of clothing should I wear on physical therapy? And then if you click through the downward arrow where it just drops screens, it'll actually give you a couple of elements, and it'll actually also go to a lead back of where that website, where this information, which website did it come from, including an image. So there's a lot of ways that you can actually leverage this if you're physical therapy, if you're physical therapist. If you're a physical therapist in Oakland, you may want to tag the word Oakland or whatever other city you're in, Los Angeles, something like that, for that identifier on where you are at. Showing a original image would be great. And then we're going to go into SEO elements in a later podcast, but you certainly want to put in your website as the title of the image when you have it, and B, you want to make sure that it's actually sizable. It's a good size, so it's not this big huge image that takes a long time to load. You can use a app called Squoosh, SQUOOSH. Let me just double check. I just type it in so much that, yeah, it's Squoosh, SQUOOSH.app. And there, and I'm going to actually just click on it here for the people that are viewing it. It is a self-contained website where you just drop in an image. You don't have to download anything. You could just use it like this. There is an install function, but you don't necessarily have to do it. You can just do a one and done. Make sure that the image is a smaller size, and that will help you upload as a faster result if you're going to put the same image on your website. So going back to our examples here, and using those, that's one of the ways that you can do that particular type of post. Our next episode, we're going to be talking about basics in Asana, and we use Asana software, which is free. We use that software to help manage, create, and get approvals for our clients to consistently post social media. We have an automated piece to it too. We use a software called later.com to schedule our social media up to 2 weeks in advance. And we have all those approvals done. And what we're going to do is we're going to take a quick break. I'm going to go ahead and set up here, and we are going to show you what that system looks like. All right, welcome back. And in this part of the podcast is we're going to actually go over some of the systems that we use for our clients. And this particular screen is showing you what my social media is this month in March. So it will show you a little bit of the systemization that we use. We do have people that help us create imagery. If you have an assistant or somebody that's in-house, they can definitely help you with all of this. So let's just get started with the process, and I'll show you a little bit of how this looks like. Let's go ahead and look at the week that we are actually creating now, which is what wellness practitioners need to know with social media. Although I'm thinking of changing the title. So that's our working title right now. But what we're doing is that we have a very systemized area on, hey, let's go ahead and fill out a title. Let's get a description for our podcast. And this is for the podcast side of things. We will roll into social media. I just wanted to share with you how we do it. We also have all of these little subtasks that tell us what we need to do to achieve publishing and making sure that we have it on our blog. We got social media. We are posting it all over on social media, including Pinterest. And let's also shoot out a MailChimp newsletter. So we have all of these elements there, and we assign them, we complete them. It's a pretty easy way to do it. Now, that's one of the things that we use for Asana for. It's an amazing free tool. If you can go on Facebook or do an email, you got this. It's super simple and easy. We have worked with clients that were uneasy and working yet with another something they have to learn when they've actually gone away and gone, oh, I'm going to use Asana project management as a tool for my business. And they get so excited over it. So definitely this might be overwhelming for some. I know as a wellness practitioner, you have all the things, right? Don't worry. We're just going to slowly get through it. You're literally not doing anything. You're just viewing. So let's go ahead and keep going. So we talked a little bit about in the previous slides on what those outcomes are when you're using hashtags for physical therapy. So in this particular tile, because we have created it up and we actually put it up in a board format. So that's one of the things that we did when we created. We'll definitely cover all of this and how you can get yourself set up and the whole rest of it in a further or a different episode. Maybe we'll do a bonus one for that because I think those are really cool, especially if you're not sure how to start it. I will teach you. So getting back to that story of, using the right hashtags, the right content for your social media. This is something that we put together for social media. So when you look at our social global grind, Instagram, or if you're looking at our websites, we'll probably use the same sort of information. LinkedIn is something that's very powerful, especially for wellness practitioners. In fact, it's nice to go ahead on Instagram as a real quick touch point for potential clients that are younger, for older clients that have money. Those older clients that have money, show up on LinkedIn. That is a place and space where people are really eager to just get into it, get amongst it. Let's resolve that pain point and let's go ahead and pay money to resolve it. LinkedIn is actually a space of really thriving commerce. They really want to hear about you. They want to know how they can help you. And you can actually readily just start typing away to a doctor, somebody that has an ailment, and maybe they can redirect you and answer a question through one of their blogs. Oh yeah. We've talked about sciatica and in our focus in February. Here's a link to the sciatica conversation. You know what I mean? And so it's a really great way to get that engagement. And engagement's so important because once you engage, especially on LinkedIn, and they either like your content or you engage, guess what? It alerts everybody within their network. So that like and trust factors almost instantaneously. Hey, if Dave just clicked and liked it, and I'm actually vibing in this content's resonating with me, I'll like it, I'll follow it, I'll read it. And you're closer to the sale. So it's really important to show up on LinkedIn. I can't even, I will bully you. I will bully you into recognizing what the power is on LinkedIn. Also, too, I'm going to go ahead and put in the show notes our LinkedIn checkoff list because it's been really relevant for us, especially for wellness practitioners. I think that'll be a really good handout. We just did it on the past episode, but I think it's also a really good resource for you here. All right, so going back to getting content. So what we do is I'm very specific and writing down the content of what we're going to use for the social media post or the blog or an article that we're going to be posting on our LinkedIn business page, which is also very powerful. We're going to go ahead and do that. And then once that is there, we're actually going to go ahead and apply those images to this particular task. And it's as easy as getting an image from the desktop, dragging and dropping here, and then it loads. It's really super easy. So that is one way that we produce and gather our social media stuff. So that's one way to do it. At the end, when we're working with clients, and this is something that your internal team can do, is you can internal person can go, hey, business owner, can you please look at the content? This is ready for your approval. And then they can also look at the image. We usually use for our images, we use two places. We use WordSwag, but we're actually doing more work, more gorgeous work on Canva. And it seems to be paying off because it just looks fresher and cleaner, and we really like their templates. So that's one way you can do it. So going back to the approval process, if your assistant or in-house person shows, hey, this is the image and this is also the content for this post, this is ready for you to approve. And then if you get the business owner to go, okay, by the way, for the business owner, when this is nice and tight and done, you can actually go through a whole week of content in like 20 minutes or less. So that is, as a business owner, your contribution to doing something like this is 20 minutes a week. I mean, come on, that is brilliant. If you're creating it yourself, it may take a bit of a rhythm, but for me, and I'm speaking at the business owner perspective, it takes anywhere from 45 minutes to an hour. I've been doing it for a while. I know exactly what I want to talk about. I actually theme each week what we're talking about. So that's one of the things that helps me get along through. And I actually will pull up 4 to 5 week cycles for the whole month. So next week I'm taking off a few days because it's my birthday. And while I'm doing that, this stuff is still going to be ticking along. We're still going to be posting, and I don't have to worry about it. We're going to have a strong social media presence, which is going to be amazing while I'm away. And that's the key. That is always the dream, right? It's like when you step away from your business and things are automated, it feels so good. All right. So with that said, let's just kind of go back. That approval process. So we get, and it's a little faded out here because it's completed, but if we, take the tick off, there you go. Isn't that cute? So what you can do when you're looking at that and they get you got the approval and they went ahead and they've done it. And then they go ahead and use, I should have put this one up. I didn't even think about it. So let's look at Later, just the home page. Later.com is the page, or the company, I should say, that we use to help automate all of our social media. They're fairly inexpensive. They're really easy to use, and you can drag and drop your posting according to what time you want. There's also a feature where they will tell you, hey, these are the best times to post. It will start to show you some analytics if you do the paid version. I'm not sure if they do it for the free version, but for the paid version, they will show you, hey, these were the hot times that we think you should be post going forward. This is the analytics. This post was really popular, and some of these were, they were a little flat. But you can start to engage and see what is actually working. And that is also a really important part. You can get your internal person to look at this and see where you're at, and they can always report to you on a Monday going, hey, this post went really well. And they can even tag it. So let's just say it was concerning that particular quote. They can just go back on the bottom part. There's actually a comment field, and you can write back and forth to each other. Now, this is the other thing that's really important that you have to listen to. This spot where the comment area timestamps everything, and it shows a record of events on the creation process. So if your internal team is having trouble time managing and they're delivering things to you too late and it's not getting on, and we're not doing that consistent piece, one of the catch-ups that you have in terms of how we can move this needle forward with social media is that you can go and go, all right, well, I see that you started things on Monday, but we're not doing things in advance. I'm not getting approvals until later in the week, and I don't have time because Thursdays or Fridays are really busy for me, whatever it is, right? Whatever the business challenge is. And so let's work out a system where if I know I assign things to you and your due date is on Thursday. And by the way, we've done it within our company and it works amazingly well. I don't like keeping tabs on the people that work with us. We really all are obsessed with, if the weather's good out here in New Zealand, we're outside. So we're very much all obsessed with the sun, because most of the year it's cold. So right now we're at the tail end of summer. We're going into autumn, and sometimes going outside, walk on the beach is more important than doing work, and rightfully so. Body should be first. So if you have a marker of every Thursday, we have things due, you can roam around the world as much as you like, as long as those due dates are met. You can do the same thing internally. If you do the same type of thing where it's one day, everything is due, and I'm just going to let you get at it, and we're going to progressively get 2 weeks in advance, this actually gets to be a bit more fun. It also alleviates a lot of stress for you and for the person that's creating it. It's a win-win situation.